Don't ever be fooled into thinking these little rascals are angels. Listen to them. Hey. Relax, bud. Relax, relax. Okay, I'm going to get them out and then you'll see them in their real splendour. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Hey, Barney. Hello, kid. Hello, buddy boy. Hi, Nell. Hi, sweetheart. Hello. Jolly boy. How are you, kiddo? How's my pop? Good puppy. Who have we not seen? Sweetheart. Good girl. Hello, my dear. Hello, Tosca. Oh, the star of the show earlier with your recall. Yes, I know. Let's see. Ruby! Hello, sweetie. Oh, don't you walk away. Oh, she needs a poo. She's gearing up for a poo, I can tell. Ruby, I hope you're just having a scratch and that's not something out of the ordinary. What is this? What is it? Oh yeah, it's a bit of poo. Great. Come on. Out of the way. Go on. Good girl. If you're looking to truly master your dog's recall, you can't really do it without one of these. Now, it doesn't matter what kind you have, but your whistle is going to carry much further distance than your voice can. And so if you really want to allow your dog the freedom to explore and roam areas like that we're in just now and make the most of it, and you have to be able to trust them, then we need to make sure that your recall is bomb proof. And so I encourage you, if you haven't already done so, perhaps have a look at the video that I made, I don't know, maybe about a year ago in relation to how to use a dog whistle. I'll tag it in the comments below. And today we're going to talk about how to refine those skills. And actually we go from sort of one basic recall command to actually today we're going to talk about having 3 different peeps, tones, sounds that come out the whistle for the dogs, and these 3 different sounds are going to do 3 different things for the pack. So if that's interesting to you, my name's Stephen, Crighton. My business is Crighton Pet Services, and I urge you to follow us along while I walk these lovely 7 dogs and we make sure that the recall is up to scratch today. How does that sound? How does that sound? Will we see how good it is? On me! Good. Yes, very good, very good, very good. Okay, so first off, just a bit of background as to why you would use a whistle instead of your voice. Now, for me with these dogs that I'm incredibly well bonded to, and we do this all the time, we practice our recall. Like in an hour's walk, we'll practice it with the dogs 20 plus times. So I don't always need a whistle. In fact, we'll see. Alfie, this way. Good boy, buddy, good boy. Yeah, so you can see there that they are within each other. They're a bit competitive to get back, and they don't want to miss out on basically a treat. Now Alfie didn't get a treat there, he got a nose tap, which is a lesser reward than a bit of food, but we'll talk about that later in the video anyway. But why would you use a whistle in the first place? What's the point of that? Well, from my point of view, it carries much further and it is less discriminating than your voice is. So especially in times of panic or stress or fear or anger, you are going to shout your dog, Alfie, come here, there's a problem over there. Sometimes they're not going to respond as well to that as they would just simply with the peeps of the whistle. So it's less discriminating. It doesn't give away your emotion. And obviously, if you're frustrated or angry, the dog thinks that you're angry with them, and they're maybe less likely to want to come and see why. The other thing is, it's really handy if you can train your dog on the whistle to then be able to use this with different family members, with children, mum and dad, like whoever it might be. We can all use the whistle. Sorry, I'm being really rude. I know modern families are a bit more than just mum and dad these days, right? But you get the idea that more than one person will have the response rate to the dog, and it means that lightens the load for the household. So that's definitely a plus point. And then the other thing is that you can actually use this in different guises. It's not just for recall, we can use it for a couple of different situations. And I'm going to come on to explain how we do that later. So, does that sound interesting? If so, remember to subscribe to the channel, because we talk about these kind of things all the time. Come on, Charlie. Good boy. Good you guys. I almost didn't see the problem here. There we go. Round the big lamppost. There we go. Oh, we want to play. We want to play. We want to play. Good girl. Good Barbie. Good girl. Just had like a snotty guy saying, that's quite a lot of dogs to keep under control. I said, oh, is it? I said, you can let me know how I do after we pass you. And then I just got the dogs to stop dead and wait. And, and then like let him move on his way before we then moved again. And it was kind of like, yeah, we can do this. Funnily enough, I do it every day.
No.
What they were born to do. What they were born to do.
Well, they're not all born to drop it in front of you.
Well, oh, that's great though, isn't it? That's brilliant. That's a nice little interaction, wasn't it? Yeah. 3 commands that we use with the dogs basically on a daily basis is recall, which is the first one I'm going to teach you guys. It's 3 short, sharp pips, and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. So that will bring the dogs hopefully rushing towards me with great glee, as obviously you can see happen there. Second one we use is a bit different, and we use a stop whistle. So it sounds like this. 1 continuous peep, and you can see the dogs for the most part have just stopped where they are. They're just now and waiting. But I also, that might also happen if I was just to stop anyway. But now, let's see. I've stopped. A few of them have stopped. Alright, so maybe half. And then the third one, which is a bit of an interesting one. So I use this especially with the dogs that have a wider orbit from me. These guys tend to stay within about 15 to 20 metres of me, but some of the bigger dogs might have about 100 metres radius to me. And what we use this one for is to change direction. So I'll show you what I mean, and then I'll explain how we might use that in a moment. So it's 2 peeps. It's an arm gesture, and the point, I don't know if I spun the camera around quick enough there, but Alfie and Charlie spun on their heels, saw the point, and shot off back in the direction that we were going in there just now. Alfie loves to be up front. It's always his place in the pack. He just loves to be at the front and scouting ahead. So I know that that's worked. I know that's worked, and that's not a fluke, because that's just what he does. So they're the 3 commands that we use on a daily basis, and they can be useful in lots of different ways. The first one, full recall, and the last one, changing direction. They could be kind of similar things if the dogs aren't too far away from us. So 3 peeps and 2 peeps are essentially the same kind of thing. But the stop is an important one, and obviously that can work really well if your dog is on the approach to something that we don't want them to go to. And the idea is that you're going to practice this when there are no distractions, and then you're going to build up and build up and build up and build up. I'm going to explain how you do that after I show you a little bit more of the dogs, because let's face it, you're here for them. Right, let's start with the basic recall. How do we train recall? We're going to use Ruby as our test guinea pig here. Hopefully she doesn't mind too much. I'm sure she won't. So we've got her on the long line, because if your dog doesn't have good recall, that's what we need. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to peep the whistle, and if she doesn't come to me, I'm just going to slowly but gradually just sort of pull it in the way that I'm showing you there just now. So she keeps coming towards me. I want the line to go slightly tighter than what we have, so I'll try and change direction here, and then let's just go for it. In you come, Ruby. Good girl, well done, well done, good puppy, well done you guys. Well, if I needed to, we can just pull her in a little bit more, get her all the way back to you. Always use verbal praise when they get back to you. Always use touch if you can. So we're going to just come in contact with the dog at some point, and especially when we're training the dog this for essentially the very first time in their life, you want to reward them with food so that it triggers something in their brain to say, hey, every time I hear that whistle, I'm going to get some food. And the smaller the amount of food, the better. So my suggestion would be, especially with puppies, if you're feeding the puppy kibble, you don't feed the puppy out the bowl. And the idea is, say, take all the kibble with you that you would give the puppy on the day for the morning meal, come out into a place like this on the long line and feed them that kibble one bit at a time until you get rid of that bowl. And every time you blow that whistle and they come back to the food, trust me, they'll pick it up very quickly that 3 peeps means I'm going to get some food here. So yeah, my suggestion for young dogs is definitely to not feed them out the bowl and do it in that fashion. But yeah, the small amounts of food, small quantities, and their basic meal is the best way to do that. Hey guys, hello. Are we enjoying our walk? Are you guys quite happy to be on camera? Yeah. Thank you, Nell. Hey Bee. Hello, boy. Hello, Toskita. Come here. Hello. What's wrong? You're very coy there. I see you. Good job, guys. Before the dog's brain will make an association that whistle, those 3 peeps, means I get a tiny amount of food, it's probably going to take you 100 attempts before it actually becomes an ingrained part of their personality. So from that point of view, it might take you 200 attempts to do it, because maybe you're only getting a 50% success rate, maybe you're only getting it right 50% of the time, and you know, so you're going to have to work hard at this to do this 200 times. As I say, I'm out for an hour, I'm maybe doing it, 20 times with the dogs. That's quite a lot. And so we're talking, it's not a day or a week's worth of training here. We're talking this could be like a month's worth of training that you're going to put into effect. And yeah, so bear in mind that each time you try this, it's good to have an idea of how many times it's working for you. And a really good way to do it is to count the kibble that you take out with you, and just take out 100 pieces, and then you know that you've got your 100 for the day once you've successfully dished out these 100 bits of food. So that's a little tip for you to help you manage what is a difficult situation at the best of times. Just make it a little bit easier for you. Pre-count out your kibble, put it into like a separate bag or pouch, and then when you run out, you've done your day's training. How does that sound? You're going to go through spells of it working, it not working, it not working. Depends on how hungry they are, depends on how hot it is, depends on how active they are. So don't be put off by the things that are difficult with this. and definitely try and just make things as easy as possible. Let's see if we can get them back here. Alfie, come. Good Charlie, good boy, good you guys, good girls, I know, you all want some food. Hang on, I've only got 2 there. There we go, good girl. Barney, do you want some? Alright, so how would we change direction and allow the dogs to understand what that actually means? Well, you can make this a bit fun. So assuming that you've managed to get recall relatively well under control, how would you use how would you use the whistle to change direction? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. I'm just going to show you how we would do it. So make it as fun as possible. I'm going to do 2 peeps. I'm going to point in this direction that I'm going to run into. We're going to go that way, and I'm just going to hold the camera up and hopefully show you the dogs follow me along. So listen, and then when we stop, good, and then we'll try again. That's me, good, It's actually quite hard to film and to execute at the same time, but I hope it's made sense there. The stop command is by far one of the hardest things to kind of get that right, and definitely one of the most useful. But why would you use a stop instead of recall? Well, I mean, there are definitely reasons for that. Maybe there's something between the dog and you, maybe you've not quite caught up, maybe you just want to tie your lace or something like that. But ultimately it can be good in emergency situations, and this is why it's the most straightforward of commands, and it's just one straightforward. Now that blast on this whistle, on this particular whistle, the Acme Alpha, I mean, it could carry about 2 kilometers. Your voice is just nowhere near the tool that you want it to be. So for recall purposes and for stopping purposes, make sure you have the whistle. And for stopping purposes, we're going to use our trusty lead. As I said before, we use slip leads with the pack just because it's easier to kind of wrangle any size dog, and they're all very well trained. But I'm going to show you how I would use the whistle and the lead in conjunction, and I'll try and film it at the same time. How does that sound? Right, Charlie, you're looking ominous. Oh, look at your ears go down. Nothing's wrong. You've not done anything wrong, buddy. You've done nothing wrong. Okay, so the slip's on him. He's not pulling tight. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk together. Now, will you jump down, sweetie? We're just going to walk together. Can we see? He's just by my side. And then let's go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Deal with all these distractions. Good. Good. That's right, little rascal. Barney. Are you giving up for the day, buddy? Are you tired? I know that's actually been quite hard work for you guys. There's been a lot of whistling, a lot going on. Don't worry, bud. Don't worry. We're not far from the van. Let's get you guys wrapped up and then we'll finish chatting to the nice people who are watching. Yes. Okay. It's a bit difficult to show you and kind of do it at the same time because, yeah, there's a lot going on here. But essentially what we're doing is we're using the whistle. We're giving 1 peep to stop. I'm stopping, the dog's stopping because it's on the lead. Then we're kind of giving some praise and some reward. Then we're moving on and we're practicing that again. Again, it's going to take about 100 times just before it even goes into the mind, and then never mind having to do it in a more high pressure situation. So with any training situation, we talk about the 3Ds. This is something that works incredibly no matter what you're trying to train, even if you're trying to train like a basic set. So the 3Ds are duration, distance and distractions. So with a basic sit, if we get the dog to sit, we can try and improve the duration for that between when they've sat down and when they get their first reward, basically. And you can build up from a matter of fraction of a second to minutes in a very short space of time. The other points, the distance and the distractions. So for something like a stop whistle, you know, we can have the dog on a longer line, or we can have the dog off the lead while we practice this. And obviously the more freedom they have, the more natural distractions they're going to have as well. So when we can get that to work without them being on the lead, then it's just a case of practice to get it right. And if the dog's 20 meters away and something is like coming charging down past me, and I've seen it, but I want the dog to stay still, I can blow the whistle, get them to stop. Maybe it's a cyclist, they go shooting past me, and I just don't want the dog to move, because if they were just to come back to me, maybe they're getting into the path of the cyclist or something like that. So it's quite a useful tool to get right. And you want to keep building up those 3Ds on every walk that you do with all the exercises that you're doing, so your recall, allow the distance to be a bit further before you even attempt to call them back, and allow the distractions and the duration, you know, the time between each one. You don't need to be calling them back every 2 seconds. Let them be in their natural state as long as you can. I'm just on my way back to the van with the dogs now, so I'll do a recap in a moment, but I think the probably most important thing for you to understand, if this is new to you, is the expectation of how long it's going to take. Like doing anything in terms of behaviour, there is no such thing as a quick fix. No such thing. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes understanding. You're going to have to revisit this video 3, 4, 5 times, so save it, bookmark it, do whatever you need to do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you might not miss out on future sort of tips and tricks and little hints that might help you improve where you already are with things. But yeah, remember that kind of magic number of about 100 attempts just for it, even just to register what it is that we're now doing, and then from there, you know, you're at maybe 1%. So each time you do 100, you're charging your phone battery 1%. Does that make sense? Maybe that's a good way to look at it. Alright guys, that wraps us up for another session, and I hope the recall part of that's been really useful to you guys. If so, please remember to let me know how you're getting on with things. Drop us a little comment. I am the only person who's on this channel, so I'll read and respond to every single comment, suggestion, criticism and anything above. But just a quick recap, if you've not already done so, just remember, get yourself a good whistle. Acme Alpha is the one that I use, and definitely the best on the market as far as I'm concerned. You're going to need a long line. I think they're about £10, maybe what, $15 from Amazon. So get yourself a long training line. Make sure you've got a short lead as well, as you've seen already we use with Charlie, and your treat bag. So you know, you're counting out your kibble, you're using 100 bits on every walk, and that's going to charge your training up by 1% each time. So so yeah, keep working on those things, and I'm really interested to know how you get on with it, because it's a slow process, it's a difficult process, and we'd love to know how you're progressing. So subscribe, become part of the community. Here's the total number of subscribers that we've got just now. As I've made this video, I'm going to have a look, go and be part of that family, and look forward to speaking to you directly in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye bye. Say bye bye, guys.